CBDCs were actually created as a direct response to Bitcoin. Dangerous times are ahead. In fact, I'll tell you what started in Turkey. Bitcoin will keep us safe.
I always like to start the conversation with Bitcoiners on one specific note, and a note who it's always different to each Bitcoiner and each pleb, but there are some similarities. And the question is, why are you on Bitcoin? Why is it exciting for you? What is interesting for you in Bitcoin?
Good question. To be honest with you, the first time I heard about Bitcoin was back in 2008, 2010, and it was towards the end of 2010. I do remember it clearly because that was when my daughter was born, and she'd just come home from hospital, and it was on TV. I remember hearing it. I remember seeing Bitcoin on TV, and I can't remember, it was like $5, $7, whatever it was. And every now and then I used to, hear about it. But I was actually introduced to not Bitcoin, believe it or not, but crypto, by someone I used to know about 2 years ago now. And I was, like many others, I ended up buying, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and all that kind of stuff. But luckily, I did all that stuff, and then I was on Twitter already. I can't remember. I think I typed like crypto or Bitcoin or something, and I ended up in one of these spaces. And I'll tell you, I spent literally 4, maybe 5 days in that space listening to people. And after the 5th day, I ended up selling everything that I had, all the altcoins or Ethereum, Solana, whatever I had. And even after 5 days, I lost money on that, on those coins, believe it or not. Anyway, after 5 days, I sold them all and I bought Bitcoin. But what it wasn't the explanation of Bitcoin that did it for me. It was the explanation of fiat money that convinced me to buy Bitcoin. Now I own my own business, and I've been in business for about 22 years now. So I deal with people every day. I deal with money every day, and I always knew something was wrong with fiat money, but I just didn't know what it was. I couldn't put my finger on it. But after I learned what I learned about fiat money, straight, I bought Bitcoin. And when it comes to Bitcoin, it was that basic idea that captured me. Actually, it was, decentralized. Bitcoin is decentralized. It's unconfiscatable. It's independent. No one can do anything about it. It can't be taken away from you. And I was so amazed. And that is how my Bitcoin journey started. And along the way, I met many people. I learned a lot of stuff. And I'll tell you, that journey of learning never ends when it comes to Bitcoin. I am still learning, like everybody else. I am still learning. So, but what I think it is that, that thing about Bitcoin, it is unconfiscatable. No one can take it away from you. And Bitcoin is the only thing that you can truly own. Now, that is something for me. And that is what I follow, really.
Oh, wow. That's a great explanation. You heard the Bitcoin first when you were in 2010 coming home from your daughter's birth. I like that story.
Yes. But actually, back in 2018, and I'll tell you, this is a little mistake a lot of plebs make. Now, back in 2018, I was actually talking to my cousin. He lives in Canada, and he's a computer engineer. I remember 2018, we were on, talking on the phone, and he mentioned Bitcoin. So, back then I didn't know anything about it. And I said to him that I didn't really understand Bitcoin, and I can't remember how much Bitcoin was at the time, say about, 12,000, 15,000, whatever it was. So I said to him that, Now, I don't really understand Bitcoin, and I don't have $12,000, to buy Bitcoin. And this is what he said to me. Oh, don't worry about it then. Just forget it. Instead of saying that, if he had said to me, you know what? No, you don't have to pay 12,000 and get a whole Bitcoin. You can actually, buy a little percentage of it. And that's how you can start. But he never said that to me. So, I mean, I could have been in Bitcoin since 2018. So I'd like to say to all the plebs out there, if you try to orange pill, and that is probably that is where, normal people get confused. I mean, how much is Bitcoin at the moment? What is it, $43,000? A lot of people think that they have to pay $43,000 to buy Bitcoin. No, please do explain it to people. They don't have to. You can buy a little percentage of it. What? I don't know, $10, $20, $50, $100, whatever you have. You can do it that way. So make sure you say this to like normal people. Then they get it.
Yeah, it's still amazing how many people think that Bitcoin is expensive just because one Bitcoin is like 40,000 euros. But if you always have to take in account how many are there. It's like they only look at the 1 unit price, and that's why also those shit coins like Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and stuff like that. They're like, oh, Bitcoin is at
There is no limit to
40,000,
them.
and Dogecoin is
Yeah.
like at 3 cents. Yeah, 3 cents, and if they only go to like 50 cents, wow, that would be such an amazing gain. But they
I
don't
know, right?
realize if Dogecoin goes to like, it's actually amazing that this this thinking is all in the head. Like I cannot
And that's
fathom
fiat
that.
mind. That is fiat
You have,
mind. Hmm.
yeah. But even in the fiat world, there are stocks, and stocks. You also have to look at how many outstanding stocks. Like I watched Tesla stock
Mm-hmm.
back in the days before I got into Bitcoin, and
Mm-hmm.
they did I think 3 stock splits, and it was crazy to see that people buy into a stock just because they do a stock split because the stock gets cheaper. And the
Yeah.
stock does not get cheaper. They are just splitting the stocks. They are getting twice as many stocks, and the
Yeah.
price halves. Like this, this is
Yeah.
this does nothing for the business. And nowadays, you can also buy half a stock and percentage of a stock, so it does not matter. It's the same with Bitcoin. And yeah, it's this is one fact I cannot believe that I still encountered that kind of thinking when I speak with people about Bitcoin.
Yeah, yeah. But isn't it amazing? Bitcoin is, I mean, it's not like stocks and shares, I don't know, or hedge funds and whatever, all that kind of complicated stuff. Bitcoin, um, even if you don't know anything, I mean, imagine, buying just, I don't know, whatever, just half a Bitcoin, just one Bitcoin, and you don't even need to know anything about it. Just put it in your cold wallet and then hodl. Just wait, and that's it. It will take care of itself. Because a lot of traders, those people don't sleep, do they? They just spend their lives in front of the computer screen. But Bitcoin is not like that. Bitcoin actually, yeah, it gives you that freedom. Just store it on your cold wallet and just wait. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, DCA and HODL, like this is it's so easy.
Yeah, yeah,
And
100%.
you have been in business, you say 22 years. Did
22 years.
some of your experience in business and dealing with money maybe more in other ways than people that are just employed or people that are doing other stuff? Did anything help you to understand Bitcoin, in understanding the value of it?
100%. And I'll tell you that still, I am still learning things every day. But one thing I know, I'll give you an example. And I felt this like in the last 22 years, as long as I've been in this business, I felt this all the time. And that's what I was saying to you earlier. I always knew something was wrong with fiat money. Now, since I've been involved involved in Bitcoin, yeah, I understand it much better. Now, there is this particular equipment that I use, and I have to replace it every a year and a half or something, right? Now, I think it was like about a year and a half ago, I paid £380 for this equipment, right? And then a year and a half ago that was. And then a couple of months ago, I bought the same thing. Look, from £380, it went up to £620. Okay. Now, this is inflation. This is inflation at its worst. I mean, we're not talking about, 2%, 5%, 10%, So things like that, and I come across things like that every single day. You can't really, you can fight against fiat money, and that's Bitcoin. That's how you do it. Everything else is just irrelevant, really.
And you also said that from crypto to Bitcoin, fiat brought you there, like the problem of fiat money. What do you mean exactly with it? Like what? How was
When you were
this?
talking about, I mean, look, I know a lot of people, and they're in crypto, not Bitcoin, crypto. And when I say fiat money, what I mean is they buy stuff, say, I don't know, for $10, £10, whatever. As soon as they make a little profit, it goes up to £12 or $12. They sell it for that little profit, that 20% profit. So they go back to the fiat money again. Now, this is what I don't understand, and I don't recommend it to anyone. Bitcoin traders. Now, Bitcoin is one asset that you can truly own in this world, right? And if we're talking about, I don't know, Bitcoin gaining value, right? And it is valuable already. But in terms of fiat money, it will go up to, I don't know, it will go up, forever, Laura, as Michael Saylor says, it will go up forever. But if I have one Bitcoin and say I bought it today at $42,000, right? Why would I want to sell it when it goes up to, say, 50 or 55, say $60,000? Why would I want to sell it and go back to that, fiat money system? Why do I want to do that? Why would I want to do that? No, Bitcoin, I'm keeping it. I'm definitely keeping it. I'm not going back to that fiat system.
And you were born in Turkey, right?
Yes, I was born in Turkey. Yeah.
Did this influence, like I feel sometimes when you are in the Western world with a maximum inflation of 10-20%, maybe you don't notice it with the supermarket prices, your salary gets improved every year. You are in a good country that has not that kind of crazy inflation. I think most of the people find Bitcoin as a luxury product, as a luxury asset, and they don't understand what Bitcoin actually means. Did that you had strong connections in Turkey, you were born in Turkey, did this influence your thinking about Bitcoin? And maybe you can explain how?
Very good question. Yes, definitely, 100%. And now, as you say, I live in England, and I've been living here for 30 years now. But I've got strong connections in Turkey, and I go to Turkey, every year. And I was there just 2-3 months ago during the summer. I got to Turkey, and in the first 10 days, petrol prices increased 3 times in 10 days. This is how bad things are. Now, I have actually prepared some notes here about Turkey. This is how bad things are, and this is why Turkey and Turkish people need Bitcoin 100%. Look, between 2001 and 2023, that's about 21, 22 years now, the foreign debt went from $130 billion to $490 billion. Okay, petrol was 35.48 Turkish lira. Now it is 35.5 Turkish lira. $1 back in 2001, it was 166 Turkish lira. Now it is 29 Turkish lira. And 1 gram gold, 1 gram of it was 17 Turkish lira. Now it is 1,876 Turkish lira. And Turkey used to be the 17th largest economy in the world. Now it's 22nd. So when I go there, I see those people. I mean, the inflation is just literally out of this world. Right now, the official figures are, if I'm not wrong, it is 68%. That's the inflation rate. But according to independent bodies, last time I checked, it was 128%, right? However, the inflation rate people feel outside in the streets when they do their shopping is about 300%. It is that bad.
Wow.
It is that bad. Why? There are many reasons. Now, just a few. It's just bad and an aggressive political stance against other countries, against European countries, Western countries, and all that. Central bank in Turkey isn't independent. It's not free. We have a one-man system, and whatever the president says, that goes. If the president of Turkey wants to increase interest rates, then the interest rates, increase. If he doesn't want to do that, he won't do that. Judicial system is not free. Again, whatever the president says, just goes. He makes the decisions. And media isn't independent. 93 or 95% of Turkish media is under state control, and that means under the president's control. So while a lot of people think, when they watch TV, a lot of people think that Turkey is actually a strong and, in every sense that is, economically, militarily, politically, Turkey, they think Turkey is a strong country. And yet, when you look at it from outside, you can see it's not. The supply of money, because Turkey, they just keep printing money. Look, money supply in Turkey year on year, well, since last year August to this year August, it went up 65%. They just kept printing money.
Wow.
Yeah. And the worst time was back in 1995. They kept printing money. How much was it? It was 179%. Right? They increased the supply of money by that much, 179%. Now, you can't run a country like that. You can't run any economy like that. Now, we have good examples, again, from the other side of the world, beginning with El Salvador. I'm not too sure about Argentina, what they're going to do and all that. But on this side of the world, Turkey definitely needs Bitcoin. Is it going to happen? I'm not sure. Not while we have these old minds and old politicians.
For me and for you, it seems pretty clear that Bitcoin is the best solution for that messed up financial system. And I think a lot of people agree on the problem. Like, a lot of people agree that fiat money and the financial system right now is kind of broken. They disagree on what exactly is broken, and they really disagree on the solutions. Like, there are gold bugs, there are people that say ETFs, there are people saying now Bitcoin. And for me and for you, I think it's pretty clear that Bitcoin is the solution. And maybe you can sum it up. Why do you think it's the best solution for that problem? For like someone that is completely outside, that has not a lot of knowledge about financial system, that has not a lot of knowledge about Bitcoin itself, for someone that is new to the space and new to finance, and maybe like a young new person to it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, the one thing about Bitcoin is we know exactly how many there are. And right at the end, we know exactly how many there is going to be. This thing can't be printed. You can't issue oh, you know what, 21 million is not enough. You know what, we'll issue like 1 million more. You can't do that, right? And scarcity is one thing that stands out with Bitcoin. Fiat money isn't like that. Even gold isn't like that because if they need it, they can mine more, they can get out more. Bitcoin is not like that. Bitcoin, as it stands, it is the best store of value. It is the best medium of exchange. A lot of people argue about it being money or medium of exchange. You know, some people say no, it's not. Some people say yes. For me, it is, and I'll tell you what, it has been. I can't remember. I can't remember the exact. In fact, I don't know the exact date. But the moment that guy paid 10,000 bitcoins for those two pizzas, that's it. Bitcoin became money, and it still is. And I'll tell you what, it will get even better. So Bitcoin is the only way to go for everyone. For everyone.
And what do you think is the main reason that that's holding back the mass adoption? Like, or am I just too impatient for it?
Yes, so am I. I'll tell you what. I mean, Jamie Dimon, Elizabeth Warren. You know the story of those two, and there is loads of them there out there. I mean, fiat world. Look, as broken as it is, we still have it. Outside in real world, we still have it, and I'll tell you, some people are. Some of my friends are very, very enthusiastic about it, and I support them all. But I know one thing: those people, the fiat world, are not going to go down without a big fight. But you know, um, it doesn't matter. All we have to do is just mine Bitcoin, hodl it, and that's it. In the end, I think they will start fighting amongst themselves, not with us, because it will happen automatically. It has to happen automatically. It is inevitable. Bitcoin standard is coming, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year, maybe not even in the next 10 years, but it is coming. It is inevitable. If not for us, for our children, it will be here and it will be safe.
When you say the Bitcoin standard is coming, is this also implying that fiat will be completely gone?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, as I said, fiat world, fiat people, companies, politicians, they're not going to go down without a fight. Of course they will fight, Of course they will fight. But there will come a day, I believe, and this is my personal opinion, and, people will challenge me. Of course they will. But yes, the whole world will be under Bitcoin standard because there's absolutely no other way. Otherwise, I'll tell you what, the human race won't survive. I don't think so. Honestly, we just keep fighting against each other. We just keep killing each other, and this fiat standard, as long as it continues, we're just going to kill each other, and probably, it will be the end of us. Bitcoin is going to save us. Bitcoin is freedom, and Bitcoin is the only way to go. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I also wonder, the wars can only be fought if someone finances them, and most of the wars and most of the financial energy that is put in wars comes from just printed money, just borrowed money from the future, basically. And if we are on a sound money standard, especially on a sound money standard, where the sound money can be stored in your head and is not physically there, like with gold, you can like rob a country and take the gold from the country. Good luck robbing Bitcoin from a country. So,
Exactly.
because people can just store their Bitcoin in their head. Like, no, if you go in a house and you say, "Give me your gold," they can say no, but they can also just shoot you and just take the gold. With
Yeah.
Bitcoin, if they come into your house and say, "Give me your Bitcoin," they can still shoot you, but if they shoot you, the Bitcoin is also away because maybe you are the only person knowing where they are.
Yeah,
Or maybe it's even a brain wallet where it's only like not recommended from my side only having a Bitcoin in your brain, but it's possible that you only have it in your
exactly.
brain, and if the brain is dead, like you kill the person, the Bitcoin is also away. Like this is
Exactly.
kind of it just it stops the physical wars entirely. I think maybe I'm naive, maybe I'm like a
No, you're
dreamer here,
not.
but for me, physical war. So you also think that physical wars are on a Bitcoin standard, not on a global scale, not thinkable.
Oh no. I mean, physical wars, they can't afford it. They can't afford it because each country, yeah, let's talk about, we're talking about war. So each country, I don't know, they will have a certain amount of Bitcoin, sats, whatever you want to call it, right? And to support a war, say like, I don't know, the country has, I don't know, 30,000 or 40,000 Bitcoin. But if they realize that that war, to support that war, they have to spend, I don't know, at least 50% of that, I don't think they will go to war. Or maybe if you got 40,000 Bitcoin and the war is going to cost you, what, 52,000 Bitcoin, they're not going to go to war. That's not going to happen. But that's not the case right now. All they have to do is just turn the printing machine on, start printing. And that is what's happening today. That is the cause of all wars. I mean, America, I think they've just approved, if I'm not wrong, I can't remember the exact amount now, but they have just approved some more like financial aid to Ukraine. I mean, where is this money coming from? I mean, I speak to my American friends every day. You know, they don't know where that. I mean, they know, of course, they know, because America keeps printing money. But are they the only ones? No, everyone does it. Everyone, the European Union, yeah, they do it, we do it, you know. So, but Bitcoin, you can't print it. There's a limited amount. We know it's 21 million, right? Everyone will have their share, and that's it. You can't issue extra ones to support, wars. So, you're 100% correct, and I am with you. I think Bitcoin will bring peace in the end as well to us all.
And if you think that thought a little further, Bitcoin will also change the political system, right?
Yeah,
Like
it has to.
if the government and the centralized organization cannot just print money, they have to get the permission from the people to get taxes from them, basically get fees from them. And we know that raising taxes is not something popular, but they
Mm.
can print a lot of money. That basically a hidden tax on the people, and people are not going on the streets because of that. People are going on the streets because of I don't know, 80% tax, something crazy like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
how will
yeah.
the Bitcoin standard change politics
I think the
for you?
politicians, I think politicians in Bitcoin standard will have to be a lot more careful. They won't be able to, do whatever they like, like they do right now. You know, Politicians, they spend much more than they can afford. And I'll tell you what, it's the same everywhere, from America to Turkey, from Japan to Spain. It's the same everywhere. But on the Bitcoin standard, they will have to be more careful because they will be accountable. Because, as I said, there's a certain amount of Bitcoin, and people will want to know where, I don't know, whatever amount of Bitcoin, where it was spent. People will want to know because they won't be able to, like they do right now, they won't be able to print extra bitcoins to show people, oh, you know what, we've still got it, or then we'll replace it. Da, 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 da. None of them will happen. None of them will happen. Politicians are gonna proof of work. That is what they will have to show in the end. Proof of work. Yeah.
Since we're talking about politics and you are living since a longer time in the UK, how did you experience the Brexit? Like, I'm now in Austria. I'm in a country that is still in the European Union. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm getting the wrong information. Maybe I'm getting a little bit of a bad view about the Brexit and the thing. Like,
yeah.
how would you say is the Brexit now, in hindsight, a good thing or a bad thing? How did
I'm a
like
bit
this
confused
besides from
about.
Bitcoin?
Yeah, right. Okay. Now we are talking about Brexit. I'm a bit confused about that. I must admit. I actually voted to leave European Union, but the next day I regretted it. I really did, because I don't know why, but I am surrounded by older people that are older than me, and those people, like mainly English people, they've been living here for like, I don't know, generations. They're English, born and bred. So they actually told me how joining European Union, had changed this country, how bad it was. They immigration. I don't know. Well, immigration was the main thing for English or for British people rather. So I was kind of convinced. I said, yeah, all right then, leave to work. But the next day I regretted it. However, since 2020, COVID, my mind is changing again, because all these things I see, in European Union, are the restrictions they try to put on people. As I said, since the beginning of COVID, and CBDCs are coming, I think, to European Union as well as here. And also, wasn't it earlier this year or was it last year? I can't remember now. But there's a new law in European Union. If you want to do a transaction that's more than 1,000 euros, you can't pay in cash. There is something like that. I don't know if you know about it. So they want to know everything about you.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it. In Austria, it was 10,000 euros. I don't know if they also adopted it now to the 1,000
Oh
euros
no,
down,
that 10,000
but
euro.
I'm not an expert on that.
Yeah, but that 10,000
Yeah.
euro is for, say, like, I don't know, you want to come to England, for example, or you want to go to Turkey, wherever. You can only take £10,000 in cash without declaring it. You can do that. But if it is 10,000 and, I don't know, 10,500 euros, then you have to declare it. But this is not that. I'm talking about something else. Say you are selling your car and it is 1,200 euros. Right. I can't pay you by cash. It's against the law now in Europe. I have to pay a bank
Hmm.
transfer, or my bank card to pay you so they can see the transaction. So basically, when it comes to European unions, yeah, as I said, my mind is changing. All those restrictions I don't really like. However, there was good things about European Union, I must say. Right now in the UK, we are struggling for workers. We have no nurses. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough people working in the fields. Even last year, we didn't have any truck drivers. We had to, I think the British government, they had to get lorry drivers, truck drivers from the army to drive all the petrol tankers that deliver, petrol to petrol stations. So, yeah, this country, after leaving European Union, um, yeah, there are certain things that I don't like about European Union, but I think after leaving European Union, we are in a worse shape right now, financially speaking. But that's again, that's fiat money we're talking about. Um, Other than that, are we ever going to go back and join European Union? I think in the next 10 years, after speaking to quite a few people, a lot of people think in the next 10 years there might be another referendum, because a lot of young people, they miss European Union, that freedom, going over there and go to a university and get educated for free. That freedom people miss. However, as far as I can remember, European Union actually left the door open for Britain, they said, right, okay, you can always come back. You know, the door is open. But when you come back, UK, Britain, we're going to have to join Euro. We're going to have to use Euro. And also, we're going to have to join the Schengen program because I don't think, we weren't included in that. People still had to get, visas, to come to the UK. But we'll see what happens. I don't know what the future holds. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I was just curious. It was not in my Bitcoin question playbook, but I just thought about
But
it.
what is
I
your
never.
opinion? That's what I'd
I'm
like to
not.
know. What is your opinion about European Union?
I'm mixed about it. Like I was
Mm,
before I was into Bitcoin, I was really into politics
yeah.
also, and I was also in a small local group, like not even a small local group. It's one small party, but that is in the parliament. It's a liberal
Mm,
party, and they in the like Austria is divided into 9 sections in
yeah.
so-called Bundesländer. And in one of those Bundesländer, I was the head of the YAF organization. And I was really involved in politics. In the summer where there was an election, I spent like 40, 50 hours a week organizing groups and stuff like that. Like I was really involved in that.
Yeah.
And at that
Yeah.
moment, I was a big fan of the European Union. And this
Right.
changed a little bit in the last years. The main reason is um, I don't like bureaucracy. It can
Right.
like the
Yeah.
European Union definitely, as you said, brings a lot of advantages also, like the freedom for young people to just go over the borders, do whatever they want. Like uh, open borders is definitely something that can be an advantage, and way more stuff like economically working closer together. There are a lot of things in there that can be definitely an advantage. Um, but I also see a lot of bureaucracy
Mm-hmm.
and trying to monitor and control each individual citizen of
Mm-hmm.
Austria or the European Union. And that can be dangerous, I think. It
Yeah.
like having something like a CBDC across the whole European Union, where the ECB is in complete control of the money supply and can also program this money, and being dependent on that system alone can be a dangerous thing. And I'm not saying that there are elites that have a game plan and they want to control the world. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. I just don't want to speculate on that.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we assume everybody that is in the CBDC and wants those money financial systems, even if they are completely acting in positivity and want just the best for everybody, even if this is the case, they are implementing a system that can be corrupted and abused by someone that is willing to do it. And if
Yeah.
history teaches us something, it's just a matter of time till someone comes and abuses the system. And that's why I really don't like CBDCs and too much central bureaucracy. It
Yeah.
also kills innovation in a big
Yeah.
way. I heard about some medical companies in Germany that moved actually to the UK because they had less bureaucracy there to do. But maybe it was
Okay.
an edge case. And so I'm also kind of confused. Like
Yeah.
if now there were an election in Austria, should Austria leave or stay? I would have to do really proper research about it. I would have no opinion right now on that topic.
Yeah. 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 You have to weigh it 100%. Pros and cons. Yeah, you have to weigh it big time. But yeah, I mean, yeah, CBDCs, they are definitely coming. It's inevitable. That's that. That's written
Yeah.
on the wall now. But before going into CBDCs, I'd like to say something about Austria. I was in Turkey last year. I drove there, so on the way back, and it wasn't in my plans, but I ended up in Austria. However, I actually entered the country like in the afternoon, late afternoon. So me and my daughter, I was traveling with my daughter, and I don't know, I stopped somewhere. And found a hotel at booking.com, right? And I got to the hotel. It's really dark.
Yeah.
I can't see anything, but I got to the hotel, get in the room. That's it. Go to bed and sleep. Right. The next day, I wake up. I open the curtain. Oh my God. I was in a little village surrounded by mountains. I really can't remember where I was, but I kept that hotel, on booking.com as my favorite. Beautiful place. Okay, fine. But up to this point, it's fine.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I'm going to say about Austria. That country is a proof of work country. How? Let me explain. We had our breakfast, got in the car, and I started driving. Robin, just tell me if it's the same everywhere in Austria. But I swear to my God, and I'm not saying this just for the sake of saying it. I didn't see one single piece of rubbish in any of the streets. It was so clean. I couldn't believe it, right? And, on either side of the road, you have grass, we have it here as well. But your grass is just so different. Even the green, it's a different green. It's nicely cut. I couldn't believe it, Yeah, man, that country's proof of work. They do the work. They keep it clean. I love it. And when I get the first opportunity, I'm coming back there and I'll go and stay at that hotel once again. Right. Going to CBDCs.
There's actually a nice.
Yeah. Go on.
I want to throw in one nice story. I'm not 100% perfectly educated on that, but I want to do it. Like, there is, when you're driving from Czech to Austria, you will
Okay.
notice something. Like, Czech is beautiful, but you notice something even if you drive over the border. The grass in Austria is just greener. Like, it's just a little bit more nicer. It's just a little bit
Why is that?
more perfect. And I actually was questioning myself that, and I was Googling it a little bit, and I have to look a little bit deeper into that. And that has something to do with an earliest stage, like a history. There were
Okay.
in Austria on that side, the people were allowed to keep their own farm, and they looked out for the farm and the grass. And on the
Right.
other side, this was not the case. I have to look into deep. Like, I really want
Yeah.
to nail this story, and because when you drive from Czech to Austria, you can see it so clearly. You drive over the border, and the
Yeah.
grass gets better. And of course, Austria is a really beautiful country. It has also a
Beautiful.
lot of flaws, like a lot
I
of
love it.
taxes, a lot of stuff. But
Oh yeah, but
just
that's
the
not the
environment is
country.
so amazing.
But that's not the country. That's the politics. That's people, whatever. But as a country,
Yeah,
I was so impressed. I don't care what people say.
yeah,
No, as a country, that is beautiful. And as soon as I get the first opportunity, I'm coming back there. I'm not really a big fan of cities. Everybody wants to go and see, I don't know, Vienna and all the other big cities. Me, I prefer countryside, seeing mountains and seeing, I don't know, forests and all that, rivers. Yeah, I love that. And yeah, I'll do that. I'll come back there, definitely. Um, but
let
yeah,
me
as
know
I
when
said,
you're coming.
yeah, I mean, hopefully, if you're coming to Prague, I'll see you in Prague. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Prague will be fun.
Austria is definitely a proof of work country. They do the work, they keep it clean. I love it. CBDCs, man, that is dangerous. That is really dangerous. I mean, CBDCs, I remember listening to this lady. This was like a while ago, on Twitter in a space, and she said directly, I think she was in finance, some I don't know, high rank, whatever she was. She said that CBDCs were actually created as a direct response to Bitcoin, right? Because they can't control Bitcoin, they can't confiscate Bitcoin. So what did I say earlier? These people are not going to go down without a big fight. Okay, so CBDCs are coming. They'll be able to, control your spending. As a result, control people because they want to keep people under control. It is a dangerous thing, and once again, Bitcoin is the only way to go for us, for everyone. Bitcoin is freedom. Bitcoin will keep us free. But CBDCs, UBI, Universal Basic Income, is another thing. And I think they tried it a few years back, and it was a trial in Norway for about 2 years. They tried it, and I think it worked. The result they got was like 50-50, I think. So, but I think Universal Basic Income is coming. They're gonna keep people at home. AI is another thing. AI again is inevitable. AI will cost a lot of people a lot of jobs. A lot of people will lose their jobs. Right, all those people sitting at home, how are they gonna earn money? No, they're not gonna earn money. UBI, Universal Basic Income, they'll be giving some money in like CBDCs. And I think CBDCs, if I'm not wrong, in the UK, because I looked into it, say you get paid, I don't know, £1,000 in CBDCs, that money will have like an expiry date. I don't know. You'll have, 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks to spend it. And for whatever reason, you can't spend that money, it will expire. That money will go. That's it. Then you'll get your next £1,000. Do you know what this means? This means that you will have no chance to save any money. You won't have any chance to own anything. No, dangerous times are ahead. In fact, I'll tell you what started in Turkey, and they passed a law about 6 weeks ago now. In Turkey, what they can do now, say, I don't know, you live in a property, all of a sudden, if the Turkish government declares that area as a reserve area means basically that area, that piece of land now belongs to the state. They give you 90 days to leave the property, to leave your land, and they show you, right, this is where you will go, and you go there, and that's it. You can't appeal against it because it's the state, right? So they, in Turkey, they started taking people's property away, and the process started. People already started receiving letters, messages, emails, whatever, and I've seen a few examples. It is scary. It is scary. I know this is happening in Turkey, but Turkey isn't really that far. This will come to us as well very soon. I mean, you're aware of, what's going on in European Union, as you say, bureaucracy, CBDCs, vaccines, and all that. Yeah, interesting and maybe even dangerous times are ahead. But again, Bitcoin will keep us safe. Bitcoin will give us that freedom, I think.
It's crazy. Like those examples in Turkey show that Bitcoin is the only thing you truly own. Property, stocks, everything else they can take from you with a simple letter. It's just so simple. Bitcoin they cannot take from you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for a while now, for the last, I don't know, say 4 or 5 years, I've been thinking, you know what, maybe I'm just going to get a small property in Turkey because at the end of the day, that's where I was born. I never denied the fact that I am Turkish, so I go back there. As I've got strong connections there. Or maybe I'll get a small property, and maybe in my later years, in my old age, I'll live there in Turkey. But now, no way. No way. There's no way I'm going to do that. Same thing. I don't know. Is it going to come to European countries? I mean, so we are supposed to have, human rights here, freedom and all that. But even that is limited. We'll see how it goes. But, I won't be surprised. Honestly, nothing can surprise me now. There is literally, I've never heard any good example against Bitcoin from no one. Honestly, a lot of people that discount Bitcoin, I don't know, they've got their own agenda, anything, and they're not even, genuine. They're not even real about it. They just want to discount Bitcoin for their own sake. They mostly, they probably want to gain I don't know, something, some credit, some money, whatever, but you can't deny Bitcoin. You definitely can't deny it. No one can.
If you discount Bitcoin, either you are uneducated or you have an own agenda.
Definitely.
I've never seen something else.
Definitely. And these people, yeah.
I just wanted to introduce the last Bitcoin question for you, but keep going.
No, I was going to say, these people with agendas, they're actually on TV every day. I mean, you can see them. I mean, over here we have our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, right? He is the man who is going to introduce. In fact, he was a chancellor like a couple of years ago. It was him who planned all this out. He started this CBDC process, right? And over there in America, there's Janet Yellen, and then who was that? Elizabeth Warren, and then Jamie Dimon. These people are on TV. They've got their own agenda. Why? Because they don't want to lose control. Because they can see it. Bitcoin will take that control away from them and give it back to the people. Give it back to us. So that's what it is.
And for you personally, what has changed since you adopted Bitcoin? Like, did you notice anything?
Oh, yes. I mean, as a person, I have changed. I can say, as a person, I have changed. I have made loads of good friends, like-minded friends, and I'm in touch with them like every day. That's one thing. The way I view the world has changed, definitely. Now, I won't be. I'm not gonna. I'm not embarrassed to admit that even though I knew something was wrong in the past, maybe I was one of the sheep. Not maybe, definitely I was one of the sheep. But once you discover Bitcoin, you wake up. Honestly, you do. I did. And then the way you look at everything, the way you view the world, just changes, and you can't help it. You just can't help it. So what you want to do, and it's like an addiction, and it is a good addiction, you want to stack sats constantly, every week. DCA, if you get the opportunity, smash by, whatever. That's what I do. So, yeah, it has changed me as a person in a good way.
Yeah, Bitcoin is definitely awakening the lion in you, especially for me. We have an end routine because we are approaching the 1 hour mark already. It goes by so fast. We're having an end routine on the podcast where the previous guest ask a question for the next guest.
Okay.
And you can interpret the question however you want. The previous guest asked you, what's the most important life lesson you can think of?
Very good question. Although I stopped there for a few seconds, it's not hesitation. I already know the answer. You really need to choose your friends extremely carefully, not just carefully, extremely carefully. You have to assess people. You really do need to assess people over and over again. It is so difficult to trust people. That's what I do automatically. I don't have many friends, but a few friends I know I can trust them. So yeah, I think I would say it's that, choose people very carefully.
I love it. A great ending point for the podcast. Man, Ozzy, thank you for being on. And
thank you very much, Robin. It's been an honor.